Minor adjustments are dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Everybody say anywhere but backwards. The words in that mission statement, it says to obtain, and the other one is maintain. Listen to me. To obtain means to come into the possession of something. Maintain means to keep it in existence. Listen, the reason why I say that, everybody say to obtain my sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it. Say to obtain our sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it.
Wrote my name. Prime. Our realized that we complicating it. Or not a host of different things. People are familiar. Workbook that have over today. That because all right, testing. All right, that's good. Testing. We back in there. All right, so I'm hoping everybody can hear me now. All right, I don't know what happened with the mic, but I'm back on there. All right, let me go through everything again. Minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crimes. Our primary purpose is to teach men and women how to make the minor adjustments that are minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Thank y'all for letting me know y'all couldn't hear me, because I would hate to be going through all this and y'all didn't hear anything. Listen, what we were going over is going to come from the secondary book that we do, all right? And the book that we're going to go over is this particular book, all right? So all the lessons that y'all going to have is going to come out of this particular book. we have 2 books. We have one workbook. Prayerfully, everybody has went through that book, and we have a secondary workbook with different lessons in it. So we're going to go over, we've been going week to week, and we've been going over different chapters of that book. So today we're going to dive into another part of that workbook. All right. All right. All right. So let's see what we got here. Okay. 1 second. All right. So let's make sure everything good. Let's make sure we good here. Okay. Let me do one more check for okay. All right, let's go. Okay. Now, so the lessons we're going to go over today is going to come from lesson 3. And my aim for this unit, it says in this unit, we will learn that we must surrender our old ways of living for a new way of living in order for us to have a productive life after incarceration and or rehabilitation. So in order for us to have the life that we truly want to live, right? There's a life that we truly, there's a life that we truly want to live. And let me see something here. Now, I want to put it so you could all see it. This is better, I believe. All right. So the life that we want to live, in order for us to live a productive life after incarceration and or rehabilitation, we have to be willing. No, I'm sorry. We must surrender our old ways of living for a new way of living. There's one song. I don't remember the song. I remember the start of the song, and when the song came on, it said, "Please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is," and that was Jay-Z. He said, "My name is Hov." What Jay-Z was saying to the individuals was he had to reintroduce himself because everybody was thinking of him as the individual who grew up in Marcy Project and was selling drugs, but he had stepped into another part of a new life. So he came out with that phrase, "Please allow me to reintroduce myself." He was letting them know, I'm no longer the person you knew who was the old Jay-Z. I'm now Jay-Z, the businessman. I was doing one thing in my old lifestyle, but now I'm doing something different. Why is that important? Because when you're trying to live a new lifestyle, the new you, watch this, don't miss this. I don't want you to miss this. The new you will have to introduce themselves to the old you. Why is that important? I'm glad you asked. Because the old you, Michael, keeps trying to raise up and do things how I used to do it. So I had to pull over, pause, and park, and I had to allow the new person that I was to tell the old person that I used to be, I do not do that anymore. But that's something that it's always, I teach this all the time, it's you versus you. So remember, before you make a decision, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself as well. Before you make certain decisions, you have to pay attention to, is this the decision that the old you would make, or is this is the decision that the new you will make? You got to have that. You must have an introduction. Each one of us at some point face a situation that sets the foundation of who we are and what we think we can do to endure something that pushes us past our limits. On occasions, it is a situation we live with for a long time, and sometimes it's an unforeseen event that overwhelms us, for which our old coping ways become, watch this, useless. So how we used to do things, our old way of doing them, coping, how we used to cope with things, they become useless. Why do I say that? Because majority of the time, I'm talking about stuff that I personally know. Majority of the times when we face with some type of difficulty, our coping skills, or the ways we cope with what we're dealing with, we go to substance or alcohol. That's the old way we used to deal with things. I'm going through this. I'm going to go get high. I'm going to go do something. Realistically, we know that that wasn't going to solve our problem. However, those are the old ways we used to cope with things. But when you start to tap into the new person that you are, those old ways of coping, watch this word, becomes useless. They're useless because I can't use substances to try to justify to help me deal with what I'm currently going through. That's the old me. Remember, the new me has to introduce themselves to the old me. The old me gonna be like, you going through this, you know what to do. Come on, man. Mike, you know exactly what we do now that we're going through this difficulty, right? That's the old you. When you start to tap into the new you, watch this word. The old ways you used to cope with stuff, they become useless because they no longer are an option. They are useless. They won't benefit your life at all. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about surrendering. So right here, watch this. It says on occasion. It's a situation we live with for a long time. And sometimes it's an unforeseen event that overwhelms us and for which our old coping ways become useless. I remember in my own personal walk, right? Something happening where when it normally would happen previously, I would go get the drugs and I would go get high. When this event happened, and I was shocked. I can't even lie. Thank you, Lord. I can't even lie. When I woke up the next day after the event happened to me, and I was sober and I didn't use, I was shocked. I woke up and I even asked myself, I said, man, I ain't get high after that happened last night. It really shocked me that my old coping skills or what I use or what I resorted to deal with my problems, I didn't resort to them. I didn't go to them. And when the next day came and I did not use any substance or any alcohol, I was truly amazed. However, watch this. I was amazed that I didn't get high. I was truly shocked, right? But I also knew I'd never get high again because I will always go do what I used to do. And when I didn't pick up anything, I also knew I got it. I got it. I'm a new person. I'm not saying I didn't have other issues or don't have currently other issues. I am talking specifically about alcohol, drugs, pills, all that. I totally knew that I had overcame that situation. I pray that y'all understand what I'm telling y'all. I pray you do. All right. Let's see what we got here. Although the content may differ, with these experiences shared in the power to bring us to our knees, significantly and often literally, it's the power to transform us to be able to taste that meaningful life. What that simply means is once your old coping ways become useless, meaning you no longer go to the thing that you used to always go to when you're facing something. When you no longer do that, you start to taste that you can have what's called a meaningful life. It's a meaningful life now that you can experience. But that only happens when you get to the place where the coping skills that you used to use or the coping ways that you used to use, all of them was using drugs or alcohol or pills or whatever, right? When they no longer become your go-to, because this is the reason why I'm sticking here is because it's very important. When what you used to do is no longer your go-to, that means your old coping ways or what you used to use to cope with your issues are useless to you. They don't mean that. Like I don't even have a thought about it. I gotta be honest with you. So I would be lying if I tell you I did. I automatically know using substances is not going to solve anything that I'm faced with in my life today. That strategy is simply useless. But you got that too. You have that too. You got to understand that your old ways is done with. We're not going to worry about that. I know you got this. This is anywhere but backward. Remember, I got the bracelet on. I don't wear it because it's a cliche. I wear it because that's how I live day to day. Highlight at least 5 old ways that you have truly detached from. Woo! If you don't have this lesson or you don't have this paper, it says highlight at least 5 old ways that you have truly detached it from. I just named one, my substance, my old ways. Another one I detached it from is hanging out at night. I noticed that I don't do nothing. I didn't say I just use substances or do things at night, but I definitely got in trouble more at night than the day. I think because a lot of times people like to do things in the dark. All right, I don't want to tell on myself. But I just think that I always used to like to go out at night. I mean, daytime, I would like basically try to get rest and wait till the sun go down and then get out there and do whatever. Especially in Atlantic City. I grew up in Atlantic City, and that's the best time to come out over there. So right now, it says, write down, highlight at least 5 ways that you have truly detached from. Now, watch this. I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to myself as well. If you don't have 5 and you have 1, right, that you have truly detached from, like I use substances, I use drugs, that drugs are something that I truly had detached from, right? If you can put 1 on there, that's something that you can build upon. Don't get discouraged if you don't have 5. I put drugs on there because I detached from. That was one of my old ways. I used to smoke cigarettes all the time, right? I detached from smoking cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? So you can find different things from your old, I'm talking about from your old ways that you have detached from. I got 3. I stopped hanging out middle of the night, just going on the block, hanging on the corner, holding up the block that I don't own. I know I ain't the only one. I'm holding up this block like I own the block. So I detached from that. You know what? You too. You know, I saw you out there in that corner, man. All right, let's see what else we got. Surrendering occurs when we know that we don't know. When we know that we don't know. It arrives when we know that we can't think or identify our way through where we are. We don't have the answer. In real surrender, we don't know if what's to come will be better or worse. Remember, my wife did that demonstration. I prayerfully those are listening that was there. She did a demonstration where she wrote different outcomes on a piece of paper and she gave it to all these individuals and everybody read the paper. And when they read the paper, the outcome was something. Everybody had a different outcome. And that's because you don't know what you're going to get. And that's so powerful. Just that demonstration is so powerful because realistically, right? We actually don't know. If we were to go back to our substance or our alcohol and do all the things that we used to do, we truly don't know the outcome or the result of us going back to it. So if I don't know, if you don't know the outcome of it, why not stay in this meaningful life and go forward? At least you have better odds of surviving some substance issue or an overdose because you're not currently using it. So remember, you don't know the outcome. It says right here, it says, we don't know if what's to come will be better or worse. And then in that demonstration that my wife did, some individuals never went back to drugs again, but some individuals ended up brain dead. So you don't know. So more comfortable or more dreadful. All we know is that we can't do it this way. The way we've been doing it, a moment longer, it happens when it can occur. So remember, we can't keep doing things how we were normally doing them. If we're going to continue to go in that path, right? The outcome, I keep going back to that demonstration that my wife did. It's so powerful. And if you ever seen her do the demonstration and those who had a chance to experience it personally, to not know if the outcome is going to be better or worse, because some of the things that she pointed out, some of the things that was picked out, some individuals succeeded, some individuals became counselors, drug counselors, some individuals got their family back, but some individuals overdosed, some individuals had other things tied into their lives. You just didn't know. So if you don't know the outcome of something, don't you think anywhere but backwards? Let me put my motto up there. Don't you think anywhere but backwards is the route that we should take? Minor adjustments is about us going forward and not going backward. I pray that y'all got that. I pray that you did. Let's look at some more here. When we surrender, we don't give up on the situation, but instead we give up the belief that we should be able to or can manage the situation so that we can be able to control any of it. We give up the notion that we can make reality different than what it is. As much as we are confined to never give up, in the situation of surrendering, watch this word, giving up the mistaken notion that we are in charge of provides a profound relief. So the mistaken notion is that if we give up, we are no longer in charge. But actually, in regards to your sobriety and in recovery, giving up actually gives you the authority to let you know you are in charge. See, sometimes when we think about giving up, we feel like we are no longer in charge or somebody's forcing us to do something. No. That notion is a myth. When you surrender, you're giving up your old lifestyle for a better lifestyle that actually shows who's in charge. Can you think about, I know when I used to think about it at previously when I was in what's called early recovery, I used to think about that, how I let some little powder that I can blow away just like that. I was allowing it to control me. And I said, man, I was letting that dust control my life. But see, one of the things that's mistaken, notice right here, it says giving up the mistaken notion that we are in charge of provides a profound relief. So we got to understand that when we give up, it's not taking authority from us. Giving up one lifestyle for a better lifestyle is actually positioning us to go farther. Let's see what we got down here. What's a personal situation after detaching from your old ways? Where and when? Where are we now after detaching from our old ways? So let me use my personal situation. It says, what's my present situation after detaching from my old ways? My present situation after I detach from my old ways. Watch the benefit here, y'all. I am now a certified drug and alcohol counselor. Now, I'm not saying that that will be your outcome. I'm giving you an example. Once I detach from my old ways, using drugs, now I'm a certified drug and alcohol counselor. You notice, you see this right there? When you detach from your old ways, the old you, the new you has different things that will motivate you. So before I was motivated to use drugs. Now I'm motivated to help people who are struggling with drugs. I hope y'all see that. Do you see it? Do you see it? I'm not saying that you per se have to become a drug counselor. I don't think it's a bad idea, but I'm not saying that's your particular path or that's your purpose. I'm just giving you an example. It says, look at the question again. It says, what's my present situation after detaching from my old ways? My present situation is I'm a certified drug and alcohol counselor. But watch this. I would never have walked into the position as a drug and alcohol counselor. Watch this. I know you know this part. If I didn't detach from my old ways. Oh man. Listen, this talk. We talk about minor adjustments here. We talk about the topic today. Our topic today is surrender. The topic today is surrender. If you can surrender your old ways, detach from it, right? There's other things that the new you are open up the door for. But remember, The door that I walked into of being this counselor would never have opened if I never detached from my old ways. I had to first surrender my old ways of doing things, surrender my old things I used to do, surrender my old mindset. I had to surrender all of that. I had to detach from my old ways. I'm giving you true life examples. Again, I am not saying that just because you have been struggling with a substance or alcohol, you should be going into drug counseling. Again, I don't think it's a bad idea, but that's not what I mean. What I'm trying to give you an example that once you detach, surrender your old ways, you now open up the door for something for your new you. You got to pay attention to that. It's going to open up some doors for you. Watch this. What commitments have I taken to achieve surrounding the old ways? What commitments have I taken to achieve surrendering the old ways? I'm sorry. What commitments have I taken to achieve surrendering the old ways? This is another. I'm giving you a prime example. I have a whole lot of things that I am able to do thanks to God, right? But I committed to sacrificing my time on Thursday at 7:00 to do the Minor Adjustment virtual group. I have a lot of things going on in my life, but I made my commitment that this time I'm going to block out so I can help other individuals. Watch the question again. It says, what commitments have I taken to achieve surrendering the old ways? So the commitments that you take, the commitments that you take, they help you surrender the old ways that you used to do. So they help you, giving back to other individuals, help you to stay surrendered to your old ways. I hope you understand that. You should find something, commit yourself to something. If you're in a facility, right? Get yourself a group of people. As long as it's within the rules, you get yourself a group of people, you can make up a devotional group. Y'all can spend 45 minutes to a half hour, start it off once a week. And you can do another group outside of all the programs that you got. Make a commitment. Say, hey, y'all want to go over this book today? And you do it. You might do a half hour a week or something. Y'all develop some type of group. That's a commitment. That you will be surprised how God can take something small and spread it all the way around. Minor Adjustments is simply something that we started and it just went everywhere. To God be the glory. It's something that we started and it just went everywhere. All right, let's look at another one. We got good time. We're going to be early on the day. I get y'all out there, get y'all some ice cream or something. What steps can I take over the next week to demonstrate my commitment to the values by which I proclaim to live? What steps can I take over the next week to demonstrate my commitment to the values by which I proclaim to live? That means if I'm telling you that I'm making minor adjustments, my life should match my words. And if your life is not matching what you're going around the program or going around the street saying, you should make some type of commitment so your words will match your lifestyle. Oh man, I was talking about that Wednesday, and I was saying I don't do phony. When I'm talking to individuals, as I'm teaching individuals, I always tell individuals I'm learning at the same time that I'm teaching you, because there's no place where you arrive. I'm constantly doing reading. If you look in my office, I got a box full of books over there. I read them. Over here, I got books over here. I read. I'm constantly learning. I want to learn. I make the commitment so that my life, watch this, what steps can I take over the next week to demonstrate my commitment to the values by which I proclaim to live? What kind of steps? You want to make a commitment to something? Demonstrate that you are the new you. What kind of commitment do your life demonstrate? Find something, make a commitment to something. And You can, if you're in a facility or not, you can always find something to make a commitment to, right? The reason why making a commitment to something while you are in a facility, rehabilitation center, and all those things before you actually transition out and go home and everything like that, because you want to develop the appetite of being committed to something. So find something small, dedicate yourself to it. Oh, you know what? Every Tuesday, I got free time here. I know I can go do nothing. I can just waste this time because I don't have nothing on the schedule and according to the rules. I'm going to commit myself to this. It might be helping somebody, or it might be because you might think because you can read that everybody in your circle can read. If you find somebody that probably can't read as well as you can make a commitment to try to help them if you know that that's their issue. I just used that as an example. There can be a host of things that you can make a commitment to. Why is commitment important? It's important because once you do, you have to develop staying committed to your new lifestyle. Watch this, just like you was committed to your old lifestyle. And you know, I'm telling the truth. We were very dedicated and committed to getting what we believe we needed to get us off of it. Man, I never stayed on it when if I was on E. For those who don't know what that means, if just in case we have some very educated but not street smart people that's watching, E, being on E means your tank is empty from the substance that you usually use. You're on E. All right, let's see what we got. All right, let's move forward. This is a quick one. Okay. The possibility of becoming victorious and surrendering exists for you to influence the way you perceive yourself in the future. Knowing the right thing to do differs in fundamental ways from doing the right things. Knowing the right thing to do. Knowing the right thing to do, it differs from doing the right things. You have to know what's the right thing to do at any given moment when you're walking in your own recovery walk. You can probably be with some real good people, right? And they might want to go somewhere and go do something, but you know it's just not the right thing to do in regards to you. So they might be good people and they might be going to do something that they don't see that's that bad or don't see a problem with it, but is it the right thing for you to do? It's like hanging out in a barbershop and you say, I ain't getting a haircut. Sooner or later, you're going to say, can you shape up my beard? So you got to understand, knowing, let's read this again. This is important. Knowing the right thing to do differs in fundamental ways from doing the right thing. All right, let's see. All right. When you want to surrender to achieve victory, you must develop, these are my good words, some of my good words here, self-discipline. When you want to surrender to achieve victory, you must develop self-discipline. I talked about that all the time. How will you develop self-discipline to enhance victory in overcoming? How? How will you? Simple habits to improve your self-discipline. Let's look at these simple habits. Man, I hope that. Did I put let me make sure I put did I put it in the comment section so y'all can get this lesson? Yeah, it's in there. If y'all don't have it, it's in the comment section and y'all can click on that link and y'all can download it to your phone. All right, let's see. These are some simple habits to improve your self-discipline. 1, count down, then take action. So sometimes you got to say, or let me give you an example. When I'm I'm a 10-time published author, but before I write the book, I actually give myself a date. So now once I say the book gonna be released in May, I ain't even finished the book, but once I put the date out there, now I have a countdown. Now I work backwards. So now what that does is it makes me take action. Woo! I don't know what your commitment look like or how you develop your discipline, but start setting some goals somewhere and then give yourself a time to reach that goal. Apply pressure to yourself. Apply pressure. Next, put your goals where you can see them every day. Put your goals where you can see them every day. I'm telling you, this is I can't even make this up. I got sticky notes right here. All these sticky notes say different goals that I have. I got sticky notes over here on my computer. I got a board back there. I got them everywhere. I put your goals where you can see them every day. Remind yourself why you started. Why did you start this recovery process? Probably because the life that you used to live wasn't doing too well. That was my reason. It wasn't working out well. So I remind myself why I started. Set small goals first. Remember, I told you, if you don't have certain things you can build upon, set small goals. If you set a small goals, before I totally like stopped smoking cigarettes and stuff, I used to smoke all the time, right? But that was a goal. Substance was first. Cigarettes came when I went to a facility that didn't allow smoking. But as long as I was at a facility that allowed smoking, I didn't have no goal of quitting at all. It was when I went to a facility that didn't allow smoking. But that was a small goal. It wasn't my primary one. Practice prioritizing. This is a big word, man. I'm gonna have to pull over, pause, and park right here. This is one of the things that I have tried to teach people and tell people all the time. You have to learn how to prioritize. What's first? First things first. If you prioritize, I learned from Mr. Miles Monroe. If you prioritize your life and put first things first, like the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, right? And all these things will be added unto you, right? It takes away stress. It takes away worry, because when you prioritize, you give yourself rest and you realize you're not exhausted as you used to be, because you know how to prioritize your life. Most of the time, the things that exhaust us is things that's not even a priority. And I'm telling you from my own personal experience, I'm learning, or I teach people how to prioritize. But you have to practice this thing. Practice prioritizing your life, not just in some areas. This is in areas. Number 6, we all talking about simple habits to improve your self-discipline. Number 6, know your weaknesses. Oh, man. Yeah, the person that say they have any weaknesses, that's their weakness. That they don't think they have any. You have to know your weaknesses. Weaknesses doesn't make you less of a man or less of a woman. Knowing your weaknesses actually makes you strong, because you know that this particular area, I am not strong in this particular area. It doesn't make you less of the person that you are, but you should know what your weaknesses are. A lot of times we hear more about leadership, but we never hear about following. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times everybody want to boast about the strong and the reigning and all that stuff. But a lot of times people don't want to talk about what areas they are challenging in, or what areas do they see themselves as being weak in. And sometimes I learned that the things you probably think you're weak in, you're not actually weak in. You possibly could be just comparing yourself one to another. That person might just be strong in that area, and you think you're weak in that area because you're not as strong as that person is in that area. I'll use speaking for an example. I was talking to someone and they was like, I noticed you feel like you look like you're confident speaking, and I don't feel confident in speaking. I said, that's because you're comparing yourself to me, or I'm comparing myself to somebody else. If you speak in according to how you are made, you probably don't have that as a weakness. It's just that you got to stop comparing yourself one to another, because sometimes your weakness might not be a weakness. Also, my things that I find to be my weakness are actually the things that keep me praying. And in the Bible, it says Paul asked God to take something from him 3 times. And every time he asked God to take it away, God said, nope, my grace is sufficient. And a lot of times the things that we struggle with or the things that might be our weaknesses, it's actually the things that keep us close to God. Because every time I turn around, if I think you, as soon as you think you just mastered everything, something to pop up and just let you know, I wasn't all the way there. But that's why I love the Lord. Get friends to hold you accountable. You need accountability. Accountability does not diminish you, make you less than a man or less than a woman. To have somebody accountable to you, or to have friends or people or family to hold you accountable. You said I call my clients and stuff all the time. I call them and I say, can you you were supposed to come to group this day. What happened? You didn't show up. You were supposed to come to group this day. What happened? You ain't show up. And they say, man, every time we miss group, you call me, because I know how much accountability plays in a person's recovery walk. As soon as you miss a couple of days of your commitment, we tend to drift back to our old ways. Remember, our topic today is surrender. Surrender is our topic, and we're going to move on. Let's see what else we got here. We got one more here. It says self-control and self-discipline are about keeping integrity, watch this, between yourself and your promises. So you tell somebody something, keep your discipline, keep your commitment. Getting up when you intend to get up, doing it the first time, is both a small victory and a big victory at once. It's a small victory because a small victory, simple actions. For instance, when your alarm goes off and you get up, watch this, that's victory. So a lot of times we don't understand this, or we don't like to associate those things as being victorious or something that caused for us to look like it was a victorious situation. But you got to understand, today we were just simply talking about surrendering one lifestyle for another lifestyle. Again, this is just these things that we're going over has to be practice. These are things that we are teaching you, that we keep telling you about from the Minor Adjustments program, are things that has to be practiced. Do not, I repeat, beat yourself down if you have not mastered any of these, because I wrote the curriculum and I have not mastered them at all. I constantly develop in each area. When I miss the mark or I don't get it right, I go back and I practice again. Don't beat yourself up. There's one thing that I have mastered, and I'm going to let it go across the screen. And it says, our motto is anywhere but backwards. Again, Minor Adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary for their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. I pray you have a great lesson today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your holidays coming up. And we won't be actually doing a meeting next week because it will be Thanksgiving. And we will be seeing you the week after Thanksgiving. Okay? Enjoy your holidays. And I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you.